let's make loaf bread. This is potato bread. You can use water, milk. I'm using whey. So when we make cheese, what's left is the whey, which is good for making sodas. I use this in our pancakes, our bread, so many things. So I only need about 3/4 of a cup, and I'm gonna pop this in the microwave. We do use a microwave here. I'm gonna pop this in the microwave just so I can get it up to warm. You don't want it hot, you want it warm, because if it's too hot, it will cook or kill your yeast, and that we don't want to do. But I want to go ahead and get that started so that yeast can start proofing. So let me pop this in the microwave, or you can pop it on the stove to warm it up. Just as easy for me in the microwave. So my bowl is empty. I'm gonna put my whey in, which I have warmed up. I'm gonna use sugar. You can use honey. I'm gonna put 2 tablespoons. You can play with your amount of sugar a little bit. You know, you need some sugar or something to activate your yeast. Get that a quick mix. And then I'm using active yeast. I'm gonna get about 2 or 1.5-ish or 1 3/4 tablespoon or so of yeast. Get that a quick mix. It's bread is very simple and fun to make. I'm gonna set this aside for a few minutes and let that start proofing. So on my stove, I have a couple potatoes. In this bowl, I have 3 tablespoons or so of butter. 3 to 4 tablespoons. I'm gonna get my potatoes out. My husband hates when I use a little spoon or a little something to do stuff like this. He be like, why you ain't just get get a big spoon and get the potatoes out? Well, I'm already using this one, so doesn't take but a second. Grab my potatoes, which I cut up. I cut up kind of small, so I let these boil. I let these boil for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then they are ready. So I put my butter in here because now I don't have to worry about melting it. The heat from the potatoes will melt my butter. Now I'm gonna mash it up because we want mashed potatoes. This is what's going to help keep your bread nice and moist. And you only need about 3/4 to 1 cup of potato. Today I'm being a little fancy and using my potato masher. Done. Flour, I'm just using all-purpose flour because I can use all-purpose flour for so many things. I have 1 egg from my girls. Yeah, and that's about it. Now, I cut my stove on, which I can cut off now. So, after you mix this, you will need to let it rise. They say about an hour, but I use my cheat code and I cut my oven on, and I cut my oven on just to get it warm in there. And I left it on a little too long, so I left it open so it'll vent. In a few minutes I'll close it. So once I get ready to set my dough to the side to rise, I can set it in this warm oven. Cover it up, set it in a warm oven. It should take about 20-30 minutes for it to rise. then we can move on. So that's just my little cheat code. I mean, I'm not in a rush or anything. You can always just wait an hour, hour and a half and let it rise. I like using my cheat code. So let's give dough a few minutes. I mean, not our dough, our yeast a few minutes. I'll show you what that should look like. And then I'm going to position my camera so you can see exactly what I'm doing on my hands. Because we about to get down to the nitty gritty. This is what, it'll start foaming like this, which I'm happy with. So I'm going to move on. So I got a little bit of salt. I keep these things in my pocket all the time. So they just convenient and good. This is Redmond's real salt. I put a dash of Redmond's real salt. I'm going to crack 1 egg. Put in there. My mashed potatoes. So I have about a cup-ish of mashed potatoes. I'm going to mix this a little bit. Last but not least, flour. I'm going to put about 3 cups. And this is all-purpose flour. I'll be sure to put everything in the description. Now I leave my flour open just in case I need some more, and I try to just dirty up one hand just in case I need the other. So you can use a dough whisk or a spoon or whatever, or you can use your hand. So when you're making bread and doing different things, you want to make sure you keep your hands clean, because you're going to put your hands in this eventually. You know, you can always choose to wear gloves. But a clean countertop and clean hands. So I'm gonna put about a 1/4 cup more or so in here. So normally you would go ahead and flour your countertop, but because I'm dumping flour and dough out, you know, I got some flour already in this. But normally you'll go ahead and sprinkle a little bit of flour on your counter. But I think we are good to go here. I keep my flour open so I can make sure I have flour on my hands and everything. This is a very, very soft dough. So you want to treat it a little delicate. If you need a little bit more of flour, your flour should be right beside you. And I have one decent hand that I can get flour with if I need to. Sometimes my hands are a mess and I let them be, and I just clean up when I'm done. So again, this the potatoes keep this a little rich, so it's real soft and sticky, which is okay. See how it's sticking to my fingers? It's fine. As long as it's not really, really sticky to the point where you can't do nothing with it. I just rub my hands together to get all that dough, some of the dough off. You don't get it all off. I wouldn't even worry about washing your hands right now, because you need them. See how soft that dough is? This can get a little addictive playing with your dough, but you don't want to overwork it. Even though most people say knead it for X amount of minutes, I don't. I knead it until it bounces back. So let me show you what I mean when I say till it bounces back. Hopefully you can see that. See where it's rising back? You can knead it a little bit more. It won't hurt. But if I'm gonna knead it, I need more flour. Because it's definitely gonna stick to me. And I don't want it all sticking to me. See how it's sticking to my counter? So I need more flour. Just to keep it from sticking like that. Just don't use too much flour. You can overdo it real fast. So, alright, I'm done playing. So let me show you. Now my dough is sticky, but remember I was saying that it's gonna be a little sticky because this is a very rich and soft dough. So it's bouncing back. I'm happy with that. Now I'm gonna get my bowl, and see my bowl is not clean, and I'm gonna get a little bit of olive oil. Pour it a little bit in the bowl. So my dough is going in on it. See that? Just a little bit, just a little bit. Keep it from sticking so much. Now, I'm gonna stick this in the oven for about 30 minutes. Alexa, set timer for 30 minutes.
30 minutes, starting now.
Put my towel over it in the oven for 30 minutes. My oven is off. It's just warmer in there, and you need warmth. You can overdo it or you cannot do enough. So you want to take your time and knead it. If you need to take those 10 minutes, you can always set your timer and take your time. Play with your dough, get the feel of it. You know, some people have a thing about getting their hands dirty. Learn to get your hands dirty. It's okay. You know, the love is here. It's not just in your heart. It's in your hands too. So take your time and play with it and get the feel of the dough. And you'll love making bread. I'm telling you, it's nothing like homemade bread. My downtime, waiting on my flour to rise, and I can clean up. I can clean up and go and sit down for a few minutes. So that's what I'm gonna do. Trudy, what do you do?
So you're not gonna be fine?
Yes.
It's too much build now.
Come on, Adam.
Can we do this?
All right. Look at this. Jiggly. I'm gonna turn you around so you can see better what I'm doing. I'm gonna put some flour down on my surface first, just a little bit. I'm gonna dust the top of my dough because it's jiggly. Look at that. Oh, that makes me so happy. All right, so let's get it out of this bowl. Ooh, that smells so good. Look at that, y'all. Oh my God, that's some good dough. So my dough is sticky, you know, again, but it's good. It's good. Who keep beeping? So what you can do with this is you can just pull off. I need more flour on my fingers. Who was that? No? So you could just pull off a piece and make. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna help you make rolls. So that I'm just gonna put it on my sheet pan. I'm gonna get 2 of them for dinner tonight. One for Bobby and one for me. I just put it on the pan, parchment paper, so it can rise. Now the rest of my dough, I'm gonna put it in my bread pan. I'm gonna go ahead and oil it up a little bit. Then you could just take butter and grease your pan. I'm just gonna spray a little bit of this. I'm just gonna put it in my pan. Look at that. Nothing special, y'all. Nothing special. I just drop it in this pan. And now I'm gonna set it. I'm gonna cut my stove on to 350. I'm gonna let it warm up. So I got my dough in my pan. I'm just gonna set it on here with my 2 rolls for dinner tonight. You can make the entire thing. You can make it all rolls if you want. They make great hamburger buns, hot dog buns, anything you want to do with it. But I'm gonna make a loaf and 2 dinner rolls. I'm gonna cover this up, preheat my stove, my oven to 350. I'm gonna set this on my stove while this preheat to 350. That give it time to rise. And I will show you before I put it in the oven. Alexa, set timer for 30 minutes. All right. Our bread has risen. I'm gonna put a little bit of butter on it before I stick it in the oven. You can put oil of your choice or none at all. It's totally up to you. I'm gonna actually put and again, this bread is delicate, so you kind of want to be easy with it because you don't want to flatten your bread. It'll go down a little bit, but not a whole lot. So I'm gonna put a little bit of everything's bagel on mine. I don't think Bobby really care for it too much, so I just give him a tiny bit just in case. In the oven, 30 minutes. Don't be like me, y'all. When Alexa say your time is up, your time is up. There we go. So I'm gonna put it on my cutting board so that it can cool. A little bit more butter ain't gonna hurt. So I wait until my bread is cool to slice it. I mean, it's delicious while it's hot, but it's sliced better when it has cooled off. So I'm just gonna put some butter on the top, and then I'm gonna let it sit and cool. But this is simple potato bread, you know? It's simple. And it's delicious. Nothing like homemade bread.